Today I'm sharing a traditional Irish apple cake recipe that was actually taught to me by my Italian mother. More on that in a minute. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest. I'm a former New York City girl, now living the simple life with my sweet husband here in the Texas Hill Country. And this channel is all about cooking from scratch, living naturally, and creating a cozy home with charming thrift store finds. So if you're like me and you want to live the simple life, be sure to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. As I've shared with you in the past, my mother is Italian, but she married an Irishman, my father. And so she always tried to make things special for St. Patrick's Day. And my father often talked about this Irish apple cake that he loved. But he didn't know what went into it other than apples. My mother didn't have a recipe for it. And so she decided to just experiment and create an apple cake of her own. And so it became our family's traditional Irish apple cake. Now this cake couldn't be simpler to make because you do it all in one bowl. And the first thing that you're going to need is 2½ cups of flour. Now when my mother first started making this cake, she would just use all-purpose flour. But as time went on, whole wheat flour became more common, and she was very conscious about health, so she would start making it with whole wheat flour. So today, that's what I'm going to use, and I'm actually using whole wheat pastry flour, but you can certainly use whole wheat flour as well. And to that, you're going to want to add 1½ cups of sugar, and this is just plain white cane sugar, it's organic. And then I've got 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So what I'm going to do is just take my whisk just to mix this all up and make sure that I get the baking soda and the salt and the sugar and the flour all incorporated together. And now to this, I'm going to add 3 eggs. 1, 2, and now we'll put in our 3rd egg. 3. And now we're going to add 1.5 sticks of butter. And this is just softened butter. And I'm actually using Irish butter. And now we're going to add in 1.5 cups of buttermilk. And that's it. Now all we're going to do is take our mixer and we're going to start on a low speed for about 30 seconds just to incorporate, and then we'll go up to a high speed for 3 minutes. So here we go. I'll just start this on a low speed and then I'll work up to 3 minutes on a high speed. And that's 3 minutes, so now we're all set and ready to add in our apples. Now what I've got here are 4 Granny Smith apples, which I've just diced up, and I'm going to get ready to toss them with a little flour before, just plain all-purpose flour, before I incorporate them into the batter. And now you can use any apple you want. My mom always baked with Granny Smith apples. She liked the sort of tart, crunchy taste in comparison to the sweetness of a cake or a pie or whatever the case may be. But you can certainly substitute any kind of apple you want. I would just recommend that you pick one that has a little bit of a crunch to it rather than a soft apple, because you want the apple to maintain its texture in the cake. So I've got the apples tossed with the flour, and now I'm just going to fold them right into the batter. And then we'll get ready to put this right into our cake pan. Now I just wanted to show you, I'm using a tube pan, and the reason is my mother always used a tube pan, and this is her tube pan. Whenever she baked a cake with fruit in it, she would always use a tube pan because she found that baking with fruit can sometimes cause a cake to be a little dense or sink a little bit in the middle. And she found that this was her solution to preventing that. And I also think that it's a good pan for a beginner to use if you're worried about your cake sinking a little in the middle. This avoids that problem. But if you don't have a tube pan, don't worry about it. You can certainly use a springform pan to make this cake. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pour the batter as carefully as possible into my pan. Well, I've got my batter in the pan, and now I'm just going around and sprinkling the top with a little demerara sugar. You can use anything that you want. You can use white sugar, turbinado sugar, anything will be fine. It's just to give the top a little bit of extra sweetness and a little bit of crunch. Well, I've got the sugar topping on, and now I'm going to put it in my oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 50 minutes. Well, I just took the cake out of the oven and it looks glorious. I'm just going to give it a minute to cool before I take it out, but I just want you to hear the crunchy topping that's formed by putting the sugar on it. Can Can you hear that? Oh, it's going to be delicious to bite into. I can't wait. Well, I removed it from the pan. Now I'm just going to let it cool a little more, and then I'll tip it over to remove the tube and plate it and cut it up. Well, now that's an apple cake, a traditional Irish apple cake fit for St. Patrick. Let's cut into this. Listen to this. Oh, I love that sugar topping. Oh, listen to that. Oh my goodness. Oh, geez, it cuts like butter. Delicious. For more from scratch recipes, be sure to subscribe to my channel and then click on this video over here where I show you how to make a traditional corned beef and cabbage dinner. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless and happy St. Patrick's Day. Mmm.